future possibilities. So for first, I want maybe to congratulate all Kenyans for expressing their democratic rights. I've come to realize that if you try to compare Kenya to most of Africans or world nations, Kenya is amongst the rich nations in terms of braveness and maybe in terms of intellectuals. From ground, you find that there are even unlearned people in Kenya, but when it comes to pushing for the real issues, Kenyans are really at par. So congratulations to us Kenyans. Despite we are feeling oppressed, but to some point we are far much ahead of even many developed countries in Africa. And secondly, I want to point this one. If we can compare maybe our progress as far the Gen Z movement, millennial movement in Kenya that has recently arisen, you'll find out that when the revolution started, even our locals, our mothers in the localities, they were very well informed that there is something called finance bill. These people are going to, even those who are going to marry their new wife, they are going to be taxed for marrying. You are going to be taxed for giving birth. Focused was on that finance bill, but now you come to realize after the finance bill, for protests to come out was like convincing people. Initially, people were having a lot of pressure. You can realize even from the media, people were just saying Raila could have just even called a one day rally, or even Raila just call for process today, meaning people were eager for whatever they were going through. But now people have become confused again, and people have returned to their tribal and political lines. So you find that even for Kasmuel, maybe moving from Nairobi maybe to other parts of Kenya, it's like convincing these people to come out, which is not so much realistic. You know, if you know what is oppressing you, it's very easy for you to come out more than if I'm convincing you. So to me, I feel that let's not go for the protest right now, because it won't bear a better fruit. If we can look for our media, Twitter today, people are strongly divided. There are people against maybe the Raila side, there are people against Ruto, there are people also supporting these people. So if we just move with this pace, we are not going to win anymore. Then I can also say this. We as Gen Zs, personally, I do feel we also made a mistake, although I'm also starting to be corrected. If we could have given that opportunity, maybe that Ruto called the Gen Zs to work with them, then to me, I'd rather support that if we are for the betterness of our nation. Then we must also be ready to lead. Do you know currently there are people who died, there are people who are permanently disabled. I have a friend who lost both of the legs, maybe due to the gunshot injury. But now we can't even compensate this guy because we are not in power. If we could have even have two ministers, I can support this, that these two ministers could have even placed 500 million aside just to compensate these people. But now what can we do to these families? It's just maybe saying sorry to them. But now we have got those who can't even care for their families. We have got firstborn who are the only eyes of their mothers and fathers but can't do anything now, because we rejected powers. If you're fighting a nation and maybe you've conquered a certain town in that nation, you don't leave it go. We were conquiring Kenya. If we were given opportunities to have some ministries, we don't care whether Ruto will be pressurizing those people who we've been appointed. We just ensure that those who as Gen Zs we've appointed, they are going to work on behalf of us. But if we fear that our people, maybe our leaders, maybe wataekwa kwa box, they will do nothing, then it means we don't trust anyone. We just have leaders who can be easily swayed away. And maybe number two, it's about our future reference. If you walk, maybe someone like Wanyama, I know this, in the Western, let's say, place like Kakamega, the language that people in the ground, our people in the ground are somehow illiterate compared to Nairobi. But the language people in the ground hear most is political language. So if you go there, you tell them you are leaderless, you are pointless. People sometimes think you are confused. But even if a politician just walk after you, people will come together because people get political language more better. If Kenya's Gen Zs can arise because we are highly democratic, we can give root a lot of tension and pressure and even form a certain organization to have our leaders. you can find that Ruto can even be president in 2027, or somebody who is not Ruto can be president, but now parliament can be full with Gen Zs. And now Kenya can run very well because everything in Kenya is run from the parliament. But parliament, if it's corrupt, then nothing can go well there. People are saying that Gen Zs can have independent candidates. It's very hard for independent candidates to dominate Kenya, because if 10 people arise for independent, how will you be able to choose your people? Let's have for me, just personally, let's have a party revolution. This is what will give Ruto a lot of tension. You can remember when Miguna came with MRM revolution. Uhuru and Ruto get tensed until they decided to deport Miguna, because there is nothing you can go against the revolution party. We can learn also from the EFF of South Africa when the freedom fighters came up with their revolution headed by Malema. The countries get tensed because the language Africans and the world get most is political language. If we are fighting just maybe from the expenses, maybe from just mobilizing 2-3 people, it can't work. People are still doomed, and we need a political revolution to take our country forward. Currently, there are many.
You mentioned a good point there, and I do not entirely agree with it, but it's a good point, especially on the political vehicle. I don't really understand entirely what it goes into, and that's why probably I'm also a student of governance at the moment and leadership. And just to get more from you, because from the way you've been speaking, it's like you've been looking at it deeply. For the listener right now who is joining us at the moment, would you mind highlighting what are the benefits of, let's say, a political vehicle? Let's not just look at it in terms of a political party, a political vehicle. Would you mind expounding on that at the moment? Now that we know what we are doing, I mean, what we are as a leaderless, fearless, blah, blah, blah movement, everyone that participated in the current shout for end of bad governance, the manner to make up or end bad governance. What are the benefits?